Hey guys, this is the Betamax Man, and well, some sad news. This thing has stopped working. This is my Sony HF2000, which I was using for playback deck for all of my pre-recorded movies because this thing has automatic tracking. And it's got on-screen display, which is really nice, and it's frustrating too because this thing will not load now. So I'll show you what it does. I'm thinking it could be a switch, or maybe there's a gear that is stuck, but I'll show you what it does. So we tape. That's it. It doesn't even attempt to load. So I'm gonna turn this gear here and see what happens. So I'm gonna load this thing manually, and let's see, what way is it that you go? This way. Find out what way it goes here. I think it's the other direction. Let's around it. Okay, it's a switch. Alright, let's see what happens now. So the switch is malfunctioning on it, is what's going on. Alright, well, I think we need to take the switch apart and clean it. Okay, well, we can fix it. So, you know, because we put it in by hand, and maybe the switch ain't going down far enough. Yeah, there's a switch that's not going far enough down. Okay. Well, yeah, we're gonna take the switch out. So, let's get this thing fixed because I want to get it back up and going. This is a very nice machine, and I do not want this thing to be sitting broke down. I want to fix it. So, let's fix it. And this is probably going to be the last repair of 2022. And then 2023, we're going to do some more repair on other machines, but at the moment, this is all I have to work on. So let's go ahead and we're gonna flip it over. I'm gonna flip this baby over. Gotta take all the freaking screws out of it. And we'll take the screws out and then we'll get to the switch. Panels off, screws off of here. These wires, they plug in over here. We're just moving them out of the way for now so we can get to the switch. Now the switch is going to be, the problem is going to be over here, and I'll show you here in just a minute. And somebody did ask me about their machine. They had this same model, and their machine was not, there we go, I'm going to lift it up. They weren't able to play. It would play for like a second and then stop. And what I recommended them trying is doing a real table motor servicing, and which involves taking the supply reels and lubricating the posts, cleaning the posts, lubricating them. Also take this pendulum gear out, clean the post, and put it back on, because this pendulum gear needs to have lubrication to ride back and forth. So the switch has got a problem that we may even have to replace. Is going to be this switch right here, and I don't know if I've got any switches that I've got switches. I just need to know what switch I have that's going to be the right switch, because some of the switches, they're all the same, but the 711B chassis, the switches are all the same, but the wire connectors go in different spots. So like pin 1 might be pin 3 on another machine. And so I'm just going to try cleaning it first and see what that does. And then we'll just move it back and forth. I was wondering if this was the problem, because this switch, when this switch gets activated, what it does is tells the machine to go into the next stage of loading, which is threading the tape around the drum. So I don't have any alcohol, contact cleaner, so I'm just going to use a little alcohol, and we're just going to spray some alcohol in there, into that switch, and then just move it. We're just gonna make sure that switch is working. Like I said, I've got other switches, but don't understand why when the tape goes in, unless the tape's not going down far enough. If the tape ain't going down far enough, that could have a problem too. I'll just put a little bit more in there. I think the contacts are oxidized, probably. So let's hope that this works and this fixes the problem, because I can replace the switch, but yeah, this switch is being a pain in the ass. But anyway, you want to take take the supply rails off and take your pendulum gear off, take the motor off here for the idler. And you'll notice what I've done is I've already replaced all 4 of these capacitors. And they've actually been replaced, and a couple of them were leaking, and I actually think I did have to do a jumper on a couple of them. You have to do a bridge when the traces are damaged from leakage. You just replace the, you just do a bridge, and you find where the traces go, and then you just bridge it, and that'll fix it. But I've got all 4 new ones. The other ones were low profile, and these are not. So, but they are short enough to where they don't cause any issues. So, I'm hoping that this cleaning it is going to do some good. So I think just oxidization is what's causing them to not work, but I want the switches to work. So, and these switches, one is for the tape insertion, and the other switch is for the record tab. So the one switch detects if it can be recorded on or not when you hit the record. So we just simply put the I've done a real table motor servicing on this, so I'm not going to take it back apart, but it's not hard to do it, and it is actually simple. If you guys get into any trouble as far as like how to put it back, how to put things back together, let me know. We'll do a detailed video on the machine. But this one, the 711B3, see the SLS600 had a capstan motor that would have a gear tooth belt on it, and it would drive both take-up and supply rails, and they had too many problems with that, where the capstans were failing. So what they did was they put the idler motor back in the way that they used to have it. With the 711 B1, B2, they had this pendulum gear with a motor, and this was more reliable, so they went back to this as far as the real table motor goes. But I mean, yeah, this is a nice machine. Even though it's only a 2-head, it's a nice machine, and I really like this machine. Now we'll just put the screws back in. So it's back on. That should take care of it. Now, it could be that, like I said, if the cassette housing is not putting the tape in all the way, if the tape's not going fully seated, the switch ain't gonna get activated. And that, I have had that happen where the tape's not sitting all the way down, and so the switch doesn't get activated all the way. So basically, the switch doesn't make contact. If the switch don't make contact, it's not going to go into its next stage of loading. So I need 2 hands. I'm gonna put the screws. So we'll simply reconnect the wiring here, and so this plug goes down into the drum. This plugs into the drum, and then this plugs into the circuit board. I'm not sure why they put a circuit board, why they would put a little circuit board there. Just plug it into one of the main boards like they've always done it, but apparently they don't want to do it that way no more. So we'll just put that back down, and there we go. So it's back together. So let's put this back around. We'll plug it back in, and hope that that switch is activated. when we insert a tape. And then because I'm already in here, I might as well take the rubbing alcohol and clean the heads while I'm in here, because I'm already in here. So, and sometimes the tapes I put in here shed oxide, so it dirties the heads. So let's put in a cassette. Keep forgetting there's a flip down door. Excellent. How about that, huh? Alright. Yeah, baby. One more time. Alright. Excellent. Excellentione. Alright. Now we can put it back together. So let's take a little alcohol, spray it just like that. Just put it up against the head like this. Turn it counterclockwise. I'll get a little bit of dirt off of there. Can't see it on camera, but there is a little dirt off. So that's caused by the shedding the oxide onto the heads. So let's get a Q-tip. The next thing we need to do is clean the audio and control track head. So we'll just take the Q-tip and clean the audio and control track head. Of course, this is a good thing to do because, hey, you know, it gets dirty, especially playing back some of those old tapes that I have. And they shed oxide. So there's coils in here. They look like little copper coils. Well, they actually are basically a miniaturized metal detector, because it detects the metal particles in the leader of the tape, unlike VHS, which used a clear leader and a light that would shine through, and that would tell the machine to stop rewinding, or, you know, tell the machine to stop. And so if you ever wondered what those little coils here on each side are, that's what they are. They're basically a little metal detector. So what I would like to do is buy a brand new set of heads for this machine. It would be good to do that. I do plan on maybe some point in time in the future replacing some of these capacitors, because I see some of the Elnas, and it's the Elners that I'm worried about. Those are the ones that typically will leak, or they cause issues, and typically I like to get rid of the Elnas, but right now there's no problems with the machine, so I don't need to get in there. But let's just do a little cleaning of the tape guides and stuff while I'm in here. And this is the the erase head is on the back side here. And then you've got your audio control track in the front. But up here in the back here, the black head, that's your erase head. Now, why they put it up in this area, I don't know. But the reason why you get rainbow colors, if you ever stop the recording and then you hit the record button, and where that section on the tape is, where you get these little rainbow lines that come down the screen, that's because the erase head wasn't able to fully erase before it passed the scanner of the head scanning. So the scanning disc that reads and writes the information, or I should say write and reads the information. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it starts to pass through the head before the erase head can fully erase it. So you'll have that second of kind of a rainbow colored line that might go down the screen. But also, that's why flying erase heads were so nice, is because they would mount the flying erase head right next to the video heads, so that the video would be fully erased before the tape hits the recording head. So before the tape hits the recording head, and that allowed you to have perfect, smooth edit transactions. So the head amplifier here, I do see some ELNA capacitors, which I don't like, and I think I might just go ahead and recap the head amplifier, or at least just get rid of those ELNAs. So at some point in time in my life, that's with this machine, probably within a month or two, we'll just come into this machine and get rid of some of the ELNAs. And you know, because ELNA caps were just, they were really bad. I don't like ELNA capacitors. So ELNA never was very good at making capacitors. Also, the other brand, another brand that 12 volt vids mentioned about was the Duralast branded caps, which are probably more than likely made by the same manufacturer. So I'm just gonna put the bottom back on here. Let's put the bottom plate back on, and I am going to go ahead and, come on, let's get on there. There we go. I don't like the way they made this cover come on and off, because it yeah, there we go. They used to make it so that you could just loosen the screws and you could slide the panel back or forward like that and it'll come up, but with this one they typically did not do that on this one. So gonna put all the screws back in here. Somebody wanted to see me actually putting these machines back together on camera, so that's the only reason why I'm doing this, is because somebody requested it. So if you have a request, if you want me to do a video on something, just let me know in the comments. I don't read them every day. you know. Sometimes it takes me a couple days to read the comments on the YouTube, but I do answer them eventually. Probably give me about 3-4 days, and I'll have your comment answered, because I try to keep up with the YouTube notifications of somebody sending me a comment. I want to help as many people as I can. I don't always have the right answers, but sometimes, unless the machine is sitting in front of me, I don't always have the answer. There's a tape that I just recorded last night. This has got some episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it has been recorded in the original Beta 1 speed. So I just recorded this last night on my 7200, my SL7200, which was the first standalone Betamax ever made. So we're going to go ahead and play this. Wait for it to find the signal. This tape's been damaged. Tape got damaged a little bit in the front. Years I'm free, it's time to conquer. This was a series that I grew up with back when I was... This came out when I was like real little. I was about 5 or 6. Ooh, this tape is not very good shape for being a brand new tape. But looks pretty decent. So that's the original Beta 1. And anyway, my older Beta machine plays back Beta 1 a little bit better. My 1000 or my GCS50 plays Beta 1, the original Beta 1, back a little bit better. This one doesn't quite track that great with the Beta 1 tapes, but we'll probably fix that some other time. But it looks pretty good. But when you close up to it, you know, you'll see, you know, it's not a very good picture. You gotta back up a little bit and then it's a good picture. Even if it was a high-def picture, it still wouldn't look good right up against the TV. You have to go farther away for it to look better. But hey, it looks pretty good. Works pretty good. Looking good. I mean, I think it's a little bit better quality on some of the older players playing back, but this thing works really good for some of these machines, so we'll just go ahead and eject it. Alright, now I got Beta 1 tape. Shall we try Beta 2? Nah, we don't need to do that. We know it works. Yeah, we know it was just a switch, but yeah, she's back up and going again. So put the data screen on. It'll show me the counter. We'll clear the counter. There we go. Turn it off. It's fixed. It was very easy, very simple repair. That's not always the case. The switch is not always the case. Sometimes it could be something else. I thought maybe the loading motor, one of the gears maybe had gotten stuck and wasn't allowing it to load, but it turns out it was just that switch. Because when that switch gets inserted, when the tape gets inserted that switch activates and it starts its next cycle of the loading stage, which is threading it around the drum. And then when it does that, then it's ready for playback or rewind or fast forward or whatever you want to do with it. Yeah, we could put in a beta 2 tape. We've got what is this? A Bug's Life? No, that's not A Bug's Life. This one is. Yeah, we could put in. You know what? Let's put in Jumping. This is my demo tape that I like to use. My Jumping Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. We'll hit play on the remote. As you can see, that plays really, really good. Beta 2 and 3 plays really, really good. It plays okay with Beta 1, but the tracking is just slightly off, and we'll have to take a look at that one of these days. We'll take a look at it and see why that is. But and this tape isn't a very good tape either, because it's a Fuji. Fuji made okay quality tapes, but Fuji had problems with tapes with shedding the oxide, just like the Scotches did. But Fuji doesn't do it as much as the Scotches. I would say that if you're gonna get a cheap tape, I would rather see people buy the Fuji than the Scotch, because Scotch tapes were terrible. So anyway, but yeah, this thing's working good, so it's a great machine. This is, I think it's a preview of a movie. Oh yeah, Nerds. I've never seen this movie. Maybe I'll have to watch it. Nerds 2. But anyway, yeah, plays back beautifully. So we'll eject it. There we go. Working good. We'll data screen, reset. There we go. Beautiful. It works. Fixed. See you guys later. Bye-bye.